Saxon Algebra 1, Lesson 51. Graphing lines. This is a super important lesson. We're building on what we learned / reviewed last time about graphing. And we're going to do a ton more work on graphing lines. This is one of the biggest concepts that people think of when they talk about high school algebra. So anyway, we're gonna graph lots of lines. We're gonna talk about this till we're blue in the face. And the good thing is that most students find this fairly easy to grasp and remember exactly what the heck we're doing. The idea here is that there's a thing called a line, and we can write an equation to describe it. So for example, there's a line that goes through a bunch of points, right? Each one of these, there's a bunch of little points here connecting, right? And we can write an equation that will describe it. What we're gonna do today is we're just gonna practice how do you graph it. If someone gives you an equation, how do you draw a picture of it? All right, so in our first example, John is giving us a line and he tells us to graph it. The line he gives us is y equals 2x minus 1. And we know because there is an x and a y and there are no exponents anywhere in this neighborhood, we know that this is going to create a line. You'll get used to recognizing those and you'll be able to pick them out too. And we know that we can find pairs of points, x and y, that will make this come true. They make the equation come true, right? And what we'll find is that we can pick any x values we want. We choose these, and we're going to do that in just a minute. We choose these, and then the y values we calculate. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Calculate. All right, so we will pick the x values and then we'll use this equation to calculate the y values. That will give us pairs of x's and y's, and then those are the points that lay on this line, and you'll see how that works. We'll use them to determine the line. So the first thing we do is we make a table. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that John makes his tables a little differently than mine. I'll show you his in just a few minutes. I do mine the way that I do mine for several good reasons, so I highly recommend. What we do for my tables is we write x over here on the left side, and we put y on the right side. In the middle is a column, and what we do is we write that part of the equation. The part that y equals, we put that right there. All right, that's always the same. This will change, so this will change, but all the rest of this will stay exactly the same in the tables. Now, we get to choose our x values, right? That's an x, it looks like a y almost. We get to choose our x values. We can choose any numbers we want, right? We're choosing these from anything. And we can choose we could choose weird decimal numbers, we could choose negatives, we could choose numbers in the hundreds or thousands or billions or trillions. It's just gonna make our calculation a lot harder, and drawing our picture is gonna be weird because we're gonna have to make some big giant graph. So the moral of the story is choose simple values, all right? Let me write that here. And I will demonstrate that by starting with the number 0. Let's choose 0. Let's let x equal 0 and see what that calculates out to. Now this gives me room to do that calculation. 2 times 0 is 0. See how I took this expression and I plugged 0 in for it. That's what I did here. I plugged my choice for x, I plugged in here. Now I'm calculating 0 minus 1 means that y will equal minus 1. That gives us a pair of points. When x is 0, y will be minus 1. all right? We don't normally have to write this out. We can see our pair right here, but I'm showing you with extra clarity. That will be one of the points that falls on the line y equals 2x minus 1. We'll use that in a few minutes.